G'day everyone, my name's Rob, but that's not the point. The point of this video is, will this new DJI Smart Controller work via HDMI cable with Fatshark HDOs? That's the question. Now I already know the answer. The answer is yes, it does. All I did today was take this, update the firmware, plug in the first HDMI cable, which was a bit dodgy. The second one worked. Obviously the main thing you need to know is that it's a normal HDMI connector on the DJI end, and I think it's a mini HDMI, not micro, a mini HDMI on the other end. So that's the only things. And what I'll do now is basically just plug it in, set it up, and I'm gonna go for a bit of a fly. Let you know what it's sort of like, whether it's worthwhile doing or not. Now it's very, very important that I'm only gonna do basically a hover test here in Australia. Flying a drone like this is illegal with FPV, I believe. So this is just purely a test. Just make sure that it's working just in this little confined area here. At any point I can whip the goggles off and I've got full control of the drone. So it's just a visual test. Yeah, so far I haven't really done anything with the controller whatsoever, other than realize that I couldn't bind the existing controller and the smart controller at the same time, which was very, very frustrating. So without further ado, let me get this set up. A few random facts as I set up. One, these sticks apparently are not compatible with the existing controller. Fact. Yes, the box did come with some spares. Fact. To get this to bind, as opposed to the existing controller where you needed to go into, but had the phone connected and then go in and set it up, this one you have to hold down these two control buttons and the record button to go into binding mode. For the drone to be in the binding mode, you basically press, yeah, so this seems really safe. Do this with the props on. So it goes red. Same sequence. Still red. What am I doing wrong? Oh yeah, I didn't hold down long enough. That was a trick. Now it's saying Mavic 2 rather than your drone in the corner. Plug my HDOs in, so the power's on. Now I did do a screen record before on the actual controller of all the different settings. I might flick through those just so you know, just so you've seen them. But basically, this is as simple as HDMI on one end, HDMI in the other end. Now I've got these on with the receiver module on. There is a switch to turn that off. I'm just going to see whether it works as is, and I think it automatically cuts out the receiver. A transmitter, receiver, whatever. Yeah, it automatically went off, and still nothing. Okay, so that means that I need to press this button in here, which is toggles the input to HDMI, and the receiver switch on the bottom doesn't make a difference. So basically you just have to make sure you press the display control one once to get that. Now I'm actually going to turn the DVR on and record the screen from this end. The colors don't look that great straight away. Alright, I'm going to give it a bit of a fly. See what happens. Alright, so in summary, it works. Now, a few things that I did, I've turned the histogram on. Some of these things I might be able to show you on the OSD that I recorded and everything. But overall, for picture taking, for photo taking, because the quality, and I think what I mean by the quality, I mean not necessarily the resolution, but the color depth in the, I just threw it on the ground. The color depth in the Fatsharks, it means that the screen on this looks like you're looking at a cinema screen. Fatsharks, like, they're very washed out, and so you had to turn the histogram on to basically see like any sort of dynamic range to see what you're actually going to be capturing. So it might be good if you sort of dial in your settings, you got the histogram on, you're rolling a video, and then it's too bright to see the screen for some reason. You can't use, there's no I don't know. So I can't really think of any good reason to use these, but it is fun to be kind of looking at the screen through these and to get the sense of speed and stuff like that. However, for cinematic and for photos, I don't think it's actually going to be that beneficial, like I said, unless there's a super bright day and for some reason you can't see the screen of this. And that's pretty much it. This has just come out and I just got these recently, so it's a question that I had, and hopefully it helps some people out there who are wondering whether it works and whether it's worthwhile doing. Just a quick point on why I actually justified purchasing this in the first place. For me, one of the most frustrating parts of flying the Mavic series drones is constantly having to like plug the phone in and stuff like that. Now when I do my travel photography, of course I'm going to be taking the small controller and not taking this big unit. However, having the option for HDMI out, having the option to have this sort of might mean the difference between sort of ducking down to the beach and getting some video, having plenty of battery left over, rather than constantly stressing about having to bring 2 phones and blah blah blah. So now my phone is a backup with the controller, and this will be the primary one for when I'm shooting out of the car and not having to run around with my backpack. I did a quick test. This does fit perfectly in the backpack. There's the sort of, it's shorter height that way, so if it fits in your bag, that fits in your bag that way, that'll fit in your bag that way, not so much. All right, well now it's time to use these. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you found that useful. Any questions, ask down below. My primary focus this year is going to be making useful videos like this, where I've got a question, I want to find out the answer, so I make the answer, make it public. That way everyone can learn from my expensive lessons. All right, see you.